Our Los Angeles City Council meets 3 times per week on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. All meetings are open to the public. And for those of you who cannot make it down to City Hall, the meetings are televised via cable on Channel 35 or can be viewed by visiting our website at www.lacity.org or by council phone at 213-621-CITY, C-I-T-Y. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alarcon, Cardenas, Gruel, Hahn, Weezer, Labange, Parks, Perry, Reyes, Rosendahl, Smith, Weiss, Wesson, Zine, Garcetti. 10 members present and a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you very much. The meeting is now in session. Madam Clerk, first item of business.
Approval of minutes.
Councilmember Gruel moves. Councilwoman Hahn seconds. Any commendatory resolutions?
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Councilmember Smith moves. Councilmember Zine seconds.
Madam President, would you like to hear public comments at this moment?
Yes, that would be good. I think we have a few speaker cards under public comment, and our first comment is by Mr. Arnold Sachs. Mr. Sachs.
Good morning, council members. Thank you very much. I just wanted to address something regarding an item that will be on the agenda, although it was heard in closed council. The city's case against Burrito King and their lease disagreement. And I appreciate the fact that the Budget and Finance Committee was able to straighten out some information for me regarding another lease agreement that I brought to the attention of the Trade, Commerce, and Tourism Committee, the Audits and Government Efficiency Committee, and the Transportation Committee meeting. That lease would be the one that involves the third party at LAX, where they are leasing city property to a luncheon wagon and collecting $27,000 a month, which pays for the salary for this nonprofit organization that's main benefit is to oversee their own operations at the airport. There's no direct benefit to the city. In so doing, it makes me wonder if I was to go, let's say, to Venice Beach and put out a blanket on the sand, and somebody came up to me and said, I'd like to lease that blanket from you so I can sell my merchandise. I, acting as a third party, could lease that blanket to somebody. They could sell their merchandise, and if anybody was to ask them what they were doing, they could use the operations at the airport as the basis for being legally in business. If the city is willing to condone the fact that a third party is operating on city property, collecting a lease, it makes sense that the city can't get rid of the lease, the party that's there, because they don't have an agreement with that party. Nobody has an agreement with that party. That party shouldn't even have to pay the rent. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Michael Hunt is our next speaker.
This is short in council. Well, nobody's here today, but nevertheless, I still have to talk about integrity through honesty is always the best policy. I think that you guys heard it from Rocky, and it's best, you know, just be honest with the voters and be honest with the people. I think that we've come so far to be nowhere with Rocky. I think the biggest problem that we see, and it came out in the last month, it's hard for him to manage a family of 4, let alone the second largest city in Los Angeles. I think a lot of us agree with that. We're going to be here until the vote on the 4215 has been completely repealed. We talk about honesty, but yet our city government don't give us full honesty, and whatever it does is like they lie to the people. When your own city attorney lies to you, and you go back from 1963, and you watch the dream and what all African Americans marched for on Washington, and you figure out that racism is still alive in the city attorney, and no matter how you look at it, that's what it is. When you arrest me 24 times and you still got it wrong, and you can't admit that you're right, you know, now it's time for our city council to step up to the plate, you know, and take it away. All right, thank you, Mr. Hunt.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker will be Mr. Matthew Dowd.
Okay, thank you. Wake up, everybody. It's time to listen in. There's an article in the Argonaut just last week. LA City Council considers revising oceanfront walk vending ordinance. But we should rewrite the title. It should be Boardwalk Vendors Force City Council to Reconsider with a federal lawsuit. And the even bigger story that they missed is that we forced that without an attorney. We got them into federal court. We obtained these decisions. This one here from Judge Suzanne Siegel, which says, leave open ample alternative channels for communication of the information. And items that are inextricably intertwined are protected. So what I'm saying is we know what we're talking about when it comes to this First Amendment Venice Beach issue. Now, you got attorneys over there right now, $500 an hour. They're all arguing over, oh, what item is this, what item is that? But the federal judge already said it, and I'm going to be animated over this because I'm sick of coming down here, Mr. City Attorney. This is not funny. This is discrimination against African Americans. The judge said it. Does it have a speech component? So get Bill Rosendahl and Tom LaBonge to organize a meeting with me, and we'll get to the bottom of it. Because your city attorneys are costing this city thousands and thousands of dollars talking bull crap about something that's very simple. And if we don't know what a speech component is, what have we been doing at City Hall all this time? Exercising our speech.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker will be Sharon Brewer out in the San Fernando Valley.
Hi, Sharon Brewer. Encino Neighborhood Council, June 28, 2007, election challenges. Fact, as of this morning, I have received no response from yesterday's email to Human Relations Commission regarding them receiving my 5 challenges. It was a second email request. I'm also wondering about there being a conflict of interest with the HRC looking at my 5 challenges, in that I am questioning the actions by Dunn employees, including a former HRC staff person, Arturo Pina, in that he could have been involved in letting the Encino's election go forward when they hadn't approved their election procedures. I also want it known that last year I ended up going and challenging Encino's election, and I challenged their election because the election procedures were not in compliance with the citywide election procedures, and that they didn't follow the timeline. Once again, my challenges this year are on the same issues. Dunn did not go and make sure that the election procedures were in compliance. The IEA, who possibly would have been paid $800 to oversee Encino's election, didn't make sure that the Encino's election procedures were in compliance, and you end up going and having Encino not following their timeline and getting the word out to the public. The other thing is, I really wished I would have known if you were going through the agenda, because I did put in a card about a closed item which had to do with the Burrito King, and I would have used my public comment to be able to give some information about that. But I'm not getting any responses from Dunn, from HRC, who's supposed to be looking at the challenges for Encino. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and back to City Hall. Our final speaker for public comment will be Mr. Candido Moraz.
Thank you, Madam President, council members. Everybody read the paper today, ducking responsibility. DWP union deserves much of the blame for utility crisis. Did anybody watch the DWP commissioner meeting yesterday? Did they watch Mr. Darcy walk out of the hearing when Mr. Pastoris was going to make his comments? I think the blame is being placed on the wrong place. The union has some responsibility, but I believe the union has done their part. Mr. Darcy has done his part to represent his people. We all know that we have an infrastructure that is failing. Many times before, people have come to you and given you indication that there's a problem at DWP. There was a assistant general manager by the name of Mo Shadre who sent out a letter about 4 years ago telling you that the infrastructure was failing. What happened to him? He was moved over to another section. You had a young lady from maintenance, Sandra Miranda, that came to you and showed you evidence of the problems there. Nothing was done. The infrastructure is failing. We need you and the mayor to step up and take charge of this. Mr. President, council member, we can't go on with this anymore. A couple of weeks ago, item 48, it was about the Joint Training Institute. Councilman Greg Smith, you asked the question, where's the bang for the buck? It's a program that can work, but is it working? If there's problems with it, tell us what the problems are. Again, I'm asking you. The DWP workers are great workers. We have 9,000 police officers. We have 8,900 DWP workers trying to do the same area. These are good, hardworking people. But we have a problem, and I hope that sooner or later you folks will take over and realize that you need to step in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That is our final public comment. I think, Madam Clerk, if we could go through the agenda now.
Madam President, there's a request to consider. A city attorney requests that item number 43 be continued to July 25th.
Without objection, I believe that Mr. Zine may have a request as well.
Yes, I'd like to move 15 up, please.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that the entire agenda?
No, we need to go through the agenda, so...
Please.
Okay, items 1 through 14 are items noticed for public hearing. Item number 1 is a ballot tabulation and ordinance to establish a business improvement district. The ballot results are as follows. 97.52% are in favor and 2.48% oppose. With the majority support, the recommended action is to adopt the ordinance.
There's no speaker cards on this item, and without
There is a speaker card on item number 1, Madam President.
I'm sorry, I don't have that here.
Madam President, are we going through the agenda?
Yeah, we're going through the agenda.
We're
Right.
going through items 1 through 14.
Okay. Who am I calling?
Yes.
I'm calling 14 special for the president, Garcetti. No.
Okay.
17. Who is 14 for? Weezer, Garcetti.
So is that items 14 and 17?
Yes, thank you.
All right, thank you.
For whoever.
When we get to that point. Madam Clerk? Wow.
So far, we have specials on items 1 and 14.
All right, now those items, the rest of the items are before us. You open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right. Next order, business.
Next are items 15 to 22, and those are items for which public hearings have been held. Item number 15 is confirmation of a city official. Would you like to hold this on the desk?
I think this is the item Mr. Zine called out of order because he has to depart early. So we'll let him do that. And Ms. Han, you have an item in this?
17 again
All
for
right,
somebody.
Ms. Han, it's called 17 special. On behalf of Mr. Garcetti. Thank you very much. Any other specials, colleagues? All right, Madam Clerk, open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right, next order of business.
Next order of business is items number 23 through 35 and 46 on the continuation agenda, and those are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
All right, are there any specials on that?
Yes. Oh,
Ms.
it's
Han.
called 34 special for me.
Very good, thank you. All right, any other specials, colleagues? All right, we'll hold 23 through 32 on the desk until we have 12 members present. All right, and for the remaining items, Madam Clerk, please open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Next order of business.
Items 36 through 45 are closed session items. Would you like to hold those on the desk?
Yes, that'll be fine for now. Mr. Reyes, did you have any?
Yes, it's a little awkward. Yesterday's item 31, if we could consider that item. Although it's in District 14, I was asked by our CAO to look at a technical matter, but my understanding Councilman Huizar is on his way, and I want to make sure I showed him the courtesy and respect.
I think 31's being held on the desk already.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
great.
I think Mr. Huizar is here
Great.
in the
Okay.
building.
Just want to make sure we didn't pass that up, so
Okay,
thank you.
great. All right. So we're going to hold 31 on the desk. All right, so the remaining items, all right, we've opened the roll, closed the roll, tabulated the vote, and then we're holding the closed session items for now. All right, so then let's go back to the beginning, please. First order of business. Mr. Zine, your item is up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. 15? She going to announce it?
Item number 15 is the confirmation of Mr. Eric L. Holloman to the Los Angeles City, to Lacers.
Good morning. Mr. Holloman, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your service. The mayor is requesting your reappointment to the Lacers Board, and you served on that for how long now?
6 years,
And this term will continue through 2012.
correct.
And the funds are doing well, I understand?
We have an unaudited 19.4% as of June 30th, which is spectacular. Not bad.
If the state had that, maybe they'd have a budget in place.
I'm sorry?
If the state had that kind of return, maybe they'd have a budget in place
I believe that would be the case.
for the state of California. So you've done well with it, the Lacers, which is the retirement system for the civilians within the city of Los Angeles. And I understand in conversation with you that you allocate those dollars pre-retirement, the formula that you use. When we talk about the percentage that we have funded, you have a formula that is actual true funding of that plan?
Yeah, the funding is a kind of a tricky science in that you're not really comparing apples to apples when you're talking about one fund versus another. We pre-fund our health benefits, which takes our funding back a little bit, versus the 100% target, but we are doing very well.
So we would continue on that and continue with the positive environment on that for our civilian workforce, the ones that are currently employed and those that are retired that depend on that for livelihood.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Madam Chair, thank you. Request that we confirm.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zine, and thank you very much for your service on behalf of the City of Los Angeles. Madam Clerk, if you would please open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right, thank you very much. Now let's go back to item number 1. Oh, Mr. Reyes, I believe you want
Yes,
to make a motion for reconsideration?
I just wanted to be very clear that the item 31 is from yesterday's agenda, not today's. So as we wait for Councilman Huizar, that's the item that's needs to have a technical change.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that was for the record.
We need to make a motion to reconsider item 31 from yesterday's agenda, which was July the 17th, Tuesday, July the 17th. All right. Can we vote on that now? All right,
Can we hold that on the table until Councilmember Wisar gets here?
okay. We will hold it until he comes back in the chamber then. Let's go back to item number 1. Item number 1.
Item number 1 is the ballot tabulation and ordinance for the establishment of the Downtown Center Property Business Improvement District. There is a majority support for this business improvement district, so the recommended action is to adopt the ordinance.
Thank you very much. Our one speaker card is from a Mr. Matthew Dowd. Mr. Dowd, please.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Matt Dowd here. Just want to get a heightened awareness for everyone. Normally item number 1's a street lighting ordinance forever. So whenever something big comes through at number 1, it looks like it's something they're trying to push through really quickly under the radar. But you don't get past the radar of Matt Dowd, and this is confirming the assessments to be levied upon the properties within that business improvement district. So it is a tax. It's a tax of some description. I'm not an expert on taxation. I'm an expert on the First Amendment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There are no further speakers on this matter. So, Madam Clerk, if you would please open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
10 ayes.
All right, thank you. That matter is approved. Next item.
Next item is item number 14, and that was called special by Councilmember Hahn for Councilmember Wisar.
Shall we hold that one for? Keep holding. All right, we'll go on to the next item and come back to that.
The next item was special was item number 17, and that was called special for Councilmember Garcetti, but he's not here yet. So.
All right, well, he will arrive at 11:30, so we will hold that item.
The next item is item number 34, and that was called special by Councilmember Hahn.
Ms. Hahn.
But, I actually called this special for our colleague Bill Rosendahl, because if he was here, Bill would stand up and give a shout out to the fact that ExpressJet for the first time is coming to Los Angeles, but they're going to Ontario. And that fits in with our idea of regionalism, that everyone needs to share the benefits and the burdens of air traffic. And this is something that's positive. I was going to have Mark from LAWA come up and tell us maybe a little bit about ExpressJet. What are the routes, and why is this important, and what did we do to convince ExpressJet that they should go to Ontario?
Good morning. Mark Adams from Los Angeles World Airports. The department is very excited about ExpressJet's new service. It's been in for a couple months now, but this is the use and lease agreement that's before you today. In terms of the services that ExpressJet provides at Ontario, they serve 14 nonstop destinations that were previously not served out of Ontario. These include Austin, Texas, El Paso, San Antonio, Boise, Kansas City, a lot of medium-sized markets that would generally get overflown by carriers with larger jets. The particular jet that ExpressJet is using is a 50-seat Embraer jet that is well suited to the length of flight we're talking about here, and ExpressJet's initial load factors are in the 30 to 40% range, in the high 30s, low 40s, which is better than we would expect for a startup like this. So we're off to a good start, and we look forward to a long relationship with ExpressJet.
And what we're approving today is what, a 25-year?
A 25-year use and lease agreement, which basically spells out the conditions for use of the terminals, the use of the runways, the way the landing fees get paid, and all that sort of thing.
So a 25-year lease pretty much says that we are going to have a long
Doing
relationship.
it for the long haul. I mean,
They must believe it's going to be successful, or that would have not have been something they would have been willing to do
right,
either.
exactly. By signing this agreement, it does give them a break on the landing fees, and it's good for, it's a win-win for both the airport and the airline.
Good. Well, again, I'm giving this a shout out because I think Bill Rosendahl would, if he was here, would really say this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get more services out of Ontario to service clearly a population that has been underserved so far. So this is a good thing, and I ask for your aye vote on this lease agreement with ExpressJet. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Hahn. Mr. Labange?
Madam President, and thank you. I heard your words as I came into the building. I appreciate that, and credit. Just a question. In a year's time, what would ExpressJet's fees be, an estimate for landing?
We anticipate that their terminal rent will be about $1.8 million, $1.9 million every year, and they'll be paying anywhere, depending on how many flights they bring in, anywhere from about $500,000 to $1.5 million in landing fees.
And what, just to get an idea, because I got to ask you this question, because to have a better understanding, the landing fees are a weight factor, correct?
Correct.
That's
Correct.
how it's done.
So many dollars per pound of
Is that
landed
done
weight.
internationally? I mean, is that the kind of way we...
That's the way, that's a standard
airports
practice,
operate?
yeah.
Right. And what is a 747 coming in from Paris, let's say, pay? Just an idea. You got an idea? And if you don't have an idea now, just let me know next
I could
time
get back
see
to you
me.
on that.
Just to give an idea, because I do strongly believe that it's important to distribute air traffic throughout Southern California, but also know that Los Angeles International Airport is a hub for many airlines, and the fact that they have a hub, they need that connection, so it's not as simple as diversion to Palmdale or to Ontario, but I just would like those numbers, and I think if you share it all with council, I think it'd be beneficial.
Be happy to.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Labange. There are no further speakers on this item. Madam Clerk, would you please open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Next order of business. Next matter.
Madam President, there is a request to reconsider item 46.
Motion for reconsideration, and the request was made on behalf of Mr.
Councilmember Wesson?
Okay, so Mr. Wesson, you're making a motion for reconsideration on number 46? So,
Yes, Madam Chair. It's to receive and file this item.
thank you very much. Open the roll on the motion, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right, now, Mr. Wesson has requested that the item be received and filed. So, Madam Clerk, would you please open the roll again? Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right, thank you very much. Next order of business.
Madam President, we are expecting 12 members soon, so there's a request to reconsider items 1, 9, 10, and 11, since they are ordinances.
All right. What other items can we handle at this time?
At this time, we can handle the closed sessions, or we are still waiting for item 17 for Councilmember Garcetti, and item 14 for Councilmember Huizar, and the reconsideration of the item that was considered yesterday for Councilmember Huizar.
Okay, Mr. Huizar is here. Mr. Huizar?
Yes, Madam President, I'd like to see if we could take up item 14 and 31 right now. 14, I'd like to ask for a continuation for 3 weeks. And 31 is simply to correct a technical change on an item we approved yesterday. So
Okay, thank you very much,
Take
Mr.
up 14, is that
Yeah,
possible? Okay.
motion to continue on item 14. Open the roll.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote on that item. And then the...
11 ayes.
Great. And
Item number 31, if we could delete
Madam, just before you proceed, Mr. Huizar, did we do the motion to reconsider item 31 from yesterday's agenda yet? I know Mr. Reyes made the request and asked that we hold it on the desk till Mr. Huizar was in the chamber.
Right. Just for the record, Madam President, item 31 from yesterday is Council File 07-1004. It's a Planning and Land Use Management and Budget and Finance Committee report relative to the Garvanza Historic Preservation Overlay Zone Survey. And it has not actually been reconsidered yet, I don't believe.
Okay, so if we can open the roll on the motion for reconsideration.
Yes, we can. We can do that right now.
Okay. Open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Okay, Mr. Huizar, the matter is before us now.
Thank you very much, Madam President. On that report from yesterday, if we could delete section A5A from the report, I've been advised from the CAO's office that's just a technical correction. That's my motion.
Thank you very much. No one in the queue. Madam Clerk, if you would please, without objection, open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Huizar. Madam Clerk, next order of business.
Next order of business would be item number 17, and that was called special for Councilmember Garcetti.
Okay, he's slated to arrive at 11:30 this morning. Do we have any other items that are...
Aside from the closed sessions, no.
All right, all right, that'll be fine. I need to recuse myself on the first closed session item, so I'll ask Ms. Gruhl to take my place here, the chair.
We will be going into closed session. We will be asking the members of the public that are here to exit the chambers, and only those individuals who are directly related to the items that will be before us for the city staff. So guards, if you could please clear the room.
Okay, so we're back. This is the City Council. Madam Clerk, what is before us? Item 45, please.
That would be item 45, and that's the closed session, and that is the case of Richard C. Sanchez versus City of Los Angeles. For this, the recommendation is for the promotion of the plaintiff to the position of Assistant Deputy Building Superintendent 2, retroactive to July 1st, 2006. Also, the plaintiff is to receive a retroactive check for the difference in his current salary and the Assistant Deputy Building Superintendent 2 salary, retroactive to July 1st, 2006, in the amount of $18,324.
Based on a recommendation of the city attorney, correct?
Actually, it's a recommendation of the CAO. This is a conflict case.
Okay, based on a recommendation of the CAO for a settlement of a conflict case. Any questions? No questions? Let's open the roll. Tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
All right, thank you. Next item, please.
For the record, Mr. President, the recommendation also includes the city will pay $18,500 to the plaintiff to cover a portion of his city attorney fees and costs.
Correct. Is that okay, Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, Mr. President, and also for the record, in closed session, the vote was 10-0 with council members Parks, Perry, Rosendahl, Zine, and Garcetti absent, and there's also a request that this item go forthwith.
Thank you. Forthwith on that matter. And now we're back to the next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item is item number 36, and that is a settlement for $600,000 in the case of Ryan O'Connell versus City of Los Angeles.
Okay. Madam Clerk, would you please open the roll? Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Thank you very much. Next item.
Next item is item number 37, and that is a settlement for $395,000 in the case of Shubaralian versus City of Los Angeles.
All right, open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, thank you very much.
And
Next item.
for the record, Madam President, in
Yes.
closed session, the vote was 11-0 with council members Parks, Rosendahl, Zine, and Garcetti absent.
Yes. Thank you very much for that clarification. Next item.
Next item is item number 38, and that is a settlement for $135,355 payable at $230 per week, plus life pension thereafter of $108.23 per week in the case of Harold Davis versus City of Los Angeles.
Thank you very much. Would you please open the roll? Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next is item number 39, and that is a settlement of $118,795 plus a life pension thereafter of $78,794.35 payable at $77.31 per week, and that is in the case of Lawrence Mudgett versus City of Los Angeles.
All right, thank you very much. Please open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, thank you very much. Next item, please.
Next is item number 40, and that is a settlement of $131,215 plus life pension thereafter of $100.50 per week, and that is the case of Paul Roberts versus City of Los Angeles.
Thank you very much. Again, please open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
And next matter?
Next is item number 41, and that is a settlement for $125,000 plus $5,000 for burial expenses, and that is the case of Thomas Jefferson versus the City of Los Angeles.
Thank you. Please open the roll, please. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Thank you. Next item.
Next is item number 42, and that is a settlement of $106,375 plus life pension thereafter of $54.11 per week, and that is in the case of Jeffrey Sandifer versus City of Los Angeles.
Thank you very much. Again, open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Next item.
Next item is item 44, and that is the settlement of $115,000 in the case of William Pearl versus City of Los Angeles.
Open the roll. Close the roll. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Mr. City Attorney?
And for the record, on item number 44, the vote in closed session was 11-0 with council members Parks, Rosendahl, Zine, and Garcetti absent.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. City Attorney. Does that conclude our closed session items that are voted on in public?
Yes, it does, Madam President.
All right. Thank you. I believe we have an item for Council President Garcetti next. Do the ordinances next? All right. Madam Clerk, next order of business?
Next order of business would be the consideration of the ordinances, and those would be item number 1, number 9, 10, 11, also items 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 32.
Mr. City Attorney, do we need to vote on those individually, or can we do it collectively?
I don't believe you do, but were 9, 10, and 11 reconsidered already? They could be as a group.
All right, so we'll open the roll on the item numbers just listed by our city clerk for the record. Madam Clerk, if you would please open the roll, close the roll, then tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
All right, next order of business.
Next would be item number 17, that was called special for Councilmember Garcetti.
Mr. President?
Thank you very much, Madam President, and thank you for holding this on the desk, colleagues. This morning, I had the good fortune of being in Jack Weiss's district at UCLA and joined more than 300 developers, environmental advocates, and professionals at the first ever Sustainability Summit by the Los Angeles Business Council. I know Mr. Weiss and Ms. Gruhl joined us last night atop the Bradley Ballroom as well to discuss how we can continue to be greener in our building, and Mr. Smith and Mr. Reyes have been key advocates in moving forward with that throughout the city. The overflowing room this morning was testament to how much has changed in such a short period of time. And the city of Los Angeles went green long before the rest of this country has decided to kind of join us by making sure that our buildings will be LEED certified. We're going to silver soon in LEED certification. But our own program here in Los Angeles has really helped create this tidal wave of momentum as we've worked with the private sector to look at how we can get the private sector to embrace green building. Buildings emit some 35% of the CO2 emissions that we face as a world, and it'll be an important place for us, not only locally for our landfills, but as well for our energy needs. Ted Lieu, the Assembly member, has been working also at the state level to see how we can reduce our ecological footprint statewide. And we all know the benefits of green buildings, whether it's increased efficiency, better health, less in our landfills, and less energy consumed. But his bill that is before us here today to adopt a position on would require that developers would have to build to a LEED Gold standard for any large commercial projects. We already have a program where if you go LEED, you go to the front of the line. It's a green light development program. But we here should embrace this effort. Boston and other cities have done this. The mayor at 12:30 will be announcing the plan that many of our staffs have been working together with him on for green building in the city. So it's an appropriate day as well that we give a little bit more wind to Ted Lieu's sails as this AB 888 moves forward to look at green building throughout the state. Climate change has been a significant cause in the environment, and we're looking for concrete local solutions, but also statewide ways that we can manifest going green, reducing our costs for our builders, and working hand in hand. The building industry is sometimes farther ahead now of government than we are, whether it's green roofs that I know Mr. Reyes has really been pushing for. The technology is ready to go, but we're standing in the way, whether it's gray water recycling, which people want to do, catching rainwater and using that for irrigation, but still the county is standing in the way of doing that. So we need to get on the train, and one way to do that is to support this and to get all of our large-scale developments in the state to go gold green, and in doing so, I think we will leave quite a legacy for everyone behind. So I urge your support. I know it would mean a lot to the Assembly member, and we'll put it right up there at the top of our legislative agenda for this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garcetti. Ms. Hahn. All right, Ms. Gruhl, why don't you go next, and we'll circle back to Ms. Hahn.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to stand in support of this resolution as well. And last evening, as we were here in the Bradley Tower talking to individuals about the importance of green building, about the importance of sustainability, and you look at the future of our city, it's about planning, it's about transportation, it's about how we as a city can develop policies. But I think one of the important things that struck me last night was also the fact that it wasn't just public policy makers, it was other stakeholders, the business community saying we care about the environment, we care about the future of the city, to the point of just regular people in the neighborhood where we're talking about whether it be the fact that we have global warming and how we each can do our part in that. And the city of Los Angeles has taken positions that have allowed us to be one of the greenest city and to be in the forefront. And the LABC event and the Sustainability Conference today, I think, is one which is incredibly important for this city, and that the state legislation by Assemblymember Liu is an integral part of that. So thank you, Mr. Garcetti, for your leadership on this, and to our colleagues. I told them last night, I think we have one of the greenest councils we've ever had here in the city of Los Angeles. So I wholeheartedly stand in support of this legislation. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Ms. Hahn. Keeps popping up, but she is not requested to speak. Mr. Reyes.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to reemphasize the incredible opportunity we have as a council, and I'm hoping we get to the day where, through our own experience in building, for example, the green rooftops, we understand the cost. If we're dealing with the business sector, if we're going to be talking about new economies, new cottage industries, when it comes to materials and supplies, when it comes to designing, whether we're retrofitting old buildings or building new, that we have an opportunity here as a city to research and establish a level of confidence for the private sector to invest in this. So I know Councilmember Perry has a green rooftop being built in one of the city facilities, I understand, as one of the first Central Avenue's case examples. It'd be great if we can have them give us a report back. And I'm not sure what committee that would go to, be Public Works?
It may go to Energy and Environment and Public Works if they want, yeah.
But if Energy and Environment can look at that case,
That's me.
and we could, and that'll be Councilmember Perry's chairmanship, and actually delineate the cost factors, design, material, the ability to sustain the level of punishment it will take, water, effect on material. These are issues that can get us to a point where it'd be more inviting and more of a common sense, practical matter to do green rooftops. So I'm glad we're standing up in support of this measure by Assembly Bill 888. And thank you, Councilmember Garcetti, for your stewardship and the leadership of this council, getting us to this point where we can articulate these specifics as it comes to the business of being green, so it can make it more inviting for others to invest. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reyes. Appreciate the words. And our chair of our Energy and Environment Committee, Jen Perry.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garcetti, and I appreciate Mr. Reyes mentioning the project at 43rd and Central, just south of the Dunbar Hotel, is the first City LEED certified building, and I'm pleased that, as a city, we've already stepped up to and have a project in the pipeline, and I expect more, but I think to expand the concept and also show the efficacy and the potential for economic development, and that sustainable green standards can be met on a statewide basis without compromise to structural integrity, and provide new skills for the future is a good thing. So I appreciate what Assemblyman Liu has done, and also agree and would like to support.
Thank you. And that building was also highlighted in this morning's conference as well. Deborah Weintraub from our City Engineering Bureau mentioned it, so we're very excited to see that. With that, Madam Clerk, there's nobody else on the speaker queue, so let's open the roll, close the roll. Please tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
That is approved. We'll send that forthwith without objection. Next item, please. Or next order of business.
Next are motions for posting and referral.
Those motions will be posted and referred.
Mr. President, you have one excuse on the desk.
Okay, can I hear that excuse?
Councilmember Weiss requests to be excused on July 24th to leave at 11:30 a.m. for personal business. A motion is required.
Okay, I will move. Ms. Gruhl seconds. Without objection, Mr. Weiss is excused for personal business.
And that clears the desk.
Okay, are there any procedural announcements, folks? Again, we're trying to do our community announcements. We're going to be setting up a camera at the beginning of the week, but any procedural announcements, Ms. Perry?
Procedural? This is a community announcement.
All right, well, until we have that set up, go ahead. We can make a community announcement.
Procedure.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Tomorrow is the opening of the ever-evolving Arts District Farmers Market. They've had 2 locations downtown, and our newest location, which I think many of us will enjoy, will be on the South Lawn of Los Angeles City Hall. So please come by and patronize them. Not patronize them.
What time
Please,
will it be open?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Promises to be a grassroots effort, and I hope that people will come out and purchase their wares and support them.
Great. And rumors about Bill Rosenthal's eggs being sold there, or just rumors?
Well, he's not certified.
Okay.
So
He's not a certified farmer yet,
He's
okay.
certified.
Well, we look
He's
forward
on
to
vacation anyway.
seeing that on City Hall's South Lawn tomorrow, the first farmers market at 10 a.m. Any other announcements, colleagues? If not, do we have any adjourning motions today? We do. If I can ask everybody to please rise for our adjourning motions. And we will begin with Mr. Wesson.
Thank you, Mr. President and members. I'm doing this on behalf of Council Member Zine, who has 2 funerals, unfortunately, to attend today. We request that you adjourn in the memory of Janine Armstrong, who was born and raised in Wisconsin. She, August 15th, 1933 is when she was born. She became a very close friend of our Mayor Tom Bradley. And maybe, Labange, you can help me with this. She became a member of the San Joaquin Valley Coordination Committee to help bring the Olympics here. I didn't know that we had something in that area. She was married for 52 years to the former mayor of Clovis. His name is Harry Armstrong, and she's survived by her husband, children's Tom and Jim, and her daughter, Megan.
Thank you, Mr. Wesson. Other adjourning motions, Ms. Hahn?
Thank you. I'd like us to adjourn in memory of Hilda Bostick, who passed away on July 11th at the age of 75. Hilda first came to L.A. And settled in Watts in 1965, which was not a great summer, so she obviously witnessed the Watts riots as soon as she came here. But her children attended Locke High School, and Hilda remained a dedicated volunteer at Locke for more than 40 years, long after her children graduated. She's survived by her 5 children, James, Virginia, Angela, Claudette, and Hilda, and her 7 grandchildren. The viewing will be held tomorrow at Roosevelt Memorial Park from 10:30 to 3, and the services will be Friday at 11:30 a.m. at St. John Episcopal Church on West Adams Boulevard. The community, and certainly the high school, will miss her.
Thank you, Ms. Hahn. Are there other adjourning motions today? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. And colleagues, we will next be in session this Friday. That is the 20th of July here in City Council chambers in City Hall. This meeting of the Los Angeles City Council is adjourned, and have a great afternoon. Thank you.
LA City View Channel 35. Your city, your channel.